Okay, so today is lesson 72. We are going to be completing the square into standard form. So you guys have had some practice to remember completing the square. I feel like we didn't really like that practice. How was your homework last night? Those completing the square problems, the last four? Some moans. Okay, well I think based on last period, what we're doing today with completing the square, they liked a lot better than what you guys had to do for homework. Okay, so it's a lot easier. It's not completely solving, it's just using that as a tool to rewrite our equation. Okay, so we're going to complete the square in order to convert the equation that they give us into a prettier standard form equation for a circle. Okay, does everybody have the lesson and objective? Bless you. Does everyone have the lesson and objective written down? Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do with these equations is move all of the constants to the right-hand side and all of the x and y terms to the left-hand side. Okay, so just a little organizing. So you'll just add or subtract to move it over, right? Nothing too crazy. Okay, the next thing you'll do is organize each set of x and y terms. So that means you're going to put each set in descending order. So if you have like 3x squared minus 2x, and then you have y squared minus 8y, okay, you would group them together in that way. Okay, then you're going to complete the square for the x terms and then for the y terms. And once you complete the square, you can just bring down your values, put it in, you'll have something that looks like this, right? For x's and then for the y's, and it will be equal to some constant, which will be your r squared value. So it'll be in standard form at that point. Alright, so here are our examples. Okay, so 1 and 2, just keep your pencil down and follow along up here, okay? So for number 1, the first thing I'm going to do is rearrange the terms. So I already have my x's and y's on the left. I want to move my constants to the right. So to do that, I'm going to add 13 to both sides. That gives me x squared plus y squared minus 4x minus 16y equals 13. Okay, now I want to organize my x terms and y terms. So this gives me now x squared minus 4x. I'm going to leave a space to complete the square here. Then I have plus y squared minus 16y, leaving a space to complete the square, equals 13. Okay. Then I'm going to complete the square, right, with my x terms and my y terms. So for my x terms, I take half of b and square it. b here is negative 4, so half of negative 4 is negative 2, and I square it. If I'm adding negative 2 squared to the left-hand side, I need to add it to the right-hand side as well. Negative 2 squared is just 4, so that means I'm going to add 4 to this side. Okay, same with negative 16y for my y terms, completing the square over here. The b term is negative 16, so I'm going to take half of that, which is negative 8, and square it. If I'm adding negative 8 squared, it's like adding 64, so I need to add 64 to the right-hand side as well. Okay, my x terms, I can factor this to, the reason we do completing the square, right, is because I can just pull these down. So it's just x minus 2 squared. And then with my y's, that drops down, I get y minus 8 squared. And then adding these together, 64 plus 4 is 68, plus 13 gives me 81. So now I have this in standard form. Okay, so number 2, we'll just focus on that one up here. Okay, so go ahead, just leave your pencils down. We'll work through this one together. So first thing I'm going to do is make sure my constants are on the right side. My terms with a variable are on the left side. So I already have x squared plus y squared minus 32x. All I need to do is subtract the 255 to the other side. And that gives me this. Okay, but now I need to organize my terms together, so I'm going to put the x's together so that I have x squared minus 32x. I'm going to leave a space to complete the square. And then I have plus y squared. Y squared is already a square term. There isn't another y just floating around. So I can stop there with my y's. Okay, so if I had like the equation x squared plus y squared equals 4, my center here would just be 0, 0. Does that make sense? So this, it's okay to just have this. But I can't have like x squared plus y squared minus 2y. Okay, I can't have this single y floating around. That's why we're completing this square here. Okay, so let me erase these things. So I can just leave the y squared. And then on the right hand side, I'll have negative 255. Okay, in the parentheses here, I want to complete the square, so I'm going to take half of b and square it. So half of b is negative 32, which means half of b would be negative 16, and I square that. If I'm adding negative 16 squared to the left-hand side, that's like adding 256, right? 16 squared is 256. I can't just add that to one side. I need to add it to both sides. So I can add it here as well to even it out. And then on the left, this just drops down. I get x minus 16 squared plus y, I could think of it like minus 0, but it's just y squared, equals then negative 255 plus 256 just gives me a positive 1. And that would be my standard form equation. Okay, again, I could get the center and radius now that I know the standard form equation. So what is the center for this circle? 16, 0. Okay, what's the radius? It's just 1. Okay. Okay, so I saw that we all had this rewritten. We had the x squared minus 8x plus whatever we need to add to complete the square. And then you guys had your plus y squared minus 28y equals, leaving a blank here as well. And that's going to equal negative 208. So I think most of us had this written out. Some people took it a step farther. So what number goes in my first set of parentheses right here? Negative 4. Oh. Negative 4. What number goes in my second set of parentheses? Negative 14. Good. If I'm adding negative 4 squared, I'm really adding how many? 16. So I need to add 16 over here. If I'm adding negative 14 squared, I'm really adding how many? 196. So I need to add 196 over here as well. Okay, go ahead and show me your final answer. Okay, I want to see what did you get for your standard form equation. Okay, write that on your iPads and show me them in a few seconds here. Okay, so this is the standard form equation that we got. The negative 4 drops down, so we have x minus 4 squared. The negative 14 drops down, so it's y minus 14 squared. And then on the right-hand side, it's negative 208 plus 212, which gives us 4. So that would be our standard form equation. Okay, for number 4, I want you guys to try this on your own or with your partner. Okay, do the work in your notebook and then write the final standard form equation on your iPads. Okay, so you're doing the work for number 4. First thing you're going to want to do is what? Add 32. Good. Okay, so let's start there. Work on the problem on your own or ask your partner for help. All right, up here, checking your work. So first thing I do is I have x squared. I'm going to just group them together now, right? X squared minus 2x. I'm going to be adding something squared. Then I have y squared plus 8y. Guys, quiet up here. And I'm going to be adding something squared. That's all equal to 32, right? I added 32 to the other side. Okay. Half of b for the x's, half of -2 is what? -1. Half of, this should be, sorry, that should be a +8. Half of +8 is +4. Okay, this -1 squared means I'm really adding how many to the side, right-hand side here? 1, so I need to add 1. And then the 4 squared means I'm really adding how many? Sebastian, up here. 16. So when I add these together, I know I flipped sides, I just ran out of space. When I add these together, I get 49, right? Yes. And then with my x's, I have x minus 1 squared. And for the y's, I have y plus 4 squared. Okay, I feel like everyone, all the iPads that I saw, you guys got it correct. So check with the people around you if you weren't sure. Good job, guys. Good job. Okay, and if you made a mistake or if you didn't get this in your notes yet, go ahead and write it down now. Okay, and then after this one, after problem number 4 in class, we went ahead and went to independent practice, but in case you're watching this looking for a little more help, I'll go over another problem. So number 5, we would start by subtracting 309 to the other side. Okay, you move the constants over. On the left-hand side, I only have x's and y's, so this is x squared plus y squared minus 24x plus 26y equals -309. Okay, just moving that over to the other side. Then you want to group the x's and y's together. So x squared minus 24x plus, I'm going to leave a space for me to complete the square for the x terms. Then I have y squared minus 26y, and I'm going to leave a space to complete the square here, and then minus my 309. Okay, completing the square means I take this number and I take half of it and then square it. So negative 24, half of that would be -12, and I square it. Okay, since I'm adding this number to the left-hand side, I have to also add it to the right-hand side. This is really just 12 squared, or -12 squared is just 144. So I would add 144 to this side. And then for my y's, I take half of this number and square it. So that gives me -13 squared. -13 squared is just a +169. Since I'm adding it on the left, I want to add it to the right as well to keep my equation balanced. And then I can factor this. This, I know, goes just down to x minus 12 squared. This goes to y minus 13 squared. And then if I do the addition over here, 144 and 169 would give me 313. So I have -309 plus 313, which gives me a +4. Okay, so you would be done with the problem at this point. This is the standard form equation. And again, now that it's in this form, I could tell you what the center is and what the radius is. So the center here would be 12, 13, right? I'm looking at h and k. And then my radius would be the square root of this number, so the square root of 4, which is just 2. Okay. If you want to try to practice where you can check your answers, go ahead and look on this next screen. Here was our independent practice problems. Okay, so give some of those a try. If you're getting stuck on your homework, this would be a good way to check that you're doing these correctly. So pause here if you want to work on these. And then these are the answers for the independent practice. Alright, that's it for today's lesson. Thank you.